Hey there, it's Tuesday, so it's time for another in real life video. First of all, sorry there's a fly buzzing around here in the room with me. Sorry, it'll sometimes go by. There it is. It's pretty awful. I hate it. It's turning into like that episode of Breaking Bad in here, but what can you do? Anyway, this week's video, we're talking about a viewer submitted topic. As always, if you want, you can submit little comments and whatnot, and I read through all the comments. If you have a idea for a future topic for a future video, feel free to write in. We've got quite the list already, but there's no harm in having more, in the likelihood that in the future, as we keep going, people resubmit stuff that's already been submitted. It'll just be discarded, right? But for the time being, there's plenty we haven't done, and we'll fill out the list as we keep going. This week's general viewer submitted, good lord, the fly is really trying to get me. This week's general viewer submitted topic, their username should be on the screen right about now, and it is very simple. It's about Discord. Will I start up Discord again? Will I host another Discord server specific to sort of the YouTube channel and all of that? And for the time being and for the foreseeable future, the answer is no. So, good lord, the fly is really becoming a problem. Originally, you'll note, if you're fairly new, you'll note that again was verbiage used here, and that is because we did used to have a Discord server running. They are free, of course, to get up and going, so there's really no trouble whatsoever. But we ended up getting rid of it, and originally, we ended up having some weird bozo show up. I can't even remember. It's been years now. It was around the time that we did the Oblivion playthrough, right? But we had some weird bozo show up and had just continually been posting more and more, like, I don't know, garden variety bigotry, just like basic stuff that you will occasionally see. But ultimately, it was also an excuse that I used to just completely get rid of the Discord server itself. Originally, we had gotten it because folks had written in asking, you should do one, right? You should have one. But I find myself not really using it, right? And that is probably at the root of it, the main reason why I don't really want to have a Discord server or anything like that. I just don't use Discord very much. I feel like me not being on there in many ways defeats the purpose of even having one. But yeah, at the forefront of it, the main reason is just I don't really use Discord on a personal level. I'm far more active on Twitter or Instagram. If you just want, like, I don't know, regular random opinion or whatever, go to Twitter. If you want occasional real life pictures or fit pics and stuff like that, find me on Instagram. The links are or have been in descriptions and on the about for the channel, but they've been ever present in the description for probably a year plus now. I'm not terribly into using social media, probably as I should be, right? For being someone who runs a YouTube channel, I don't use social media in the way that I ought to. I'll be completely frank. My Twitter is, I don't really ever post when I put up any videos except for the in real life videos. Those are the exception because they feel like an exception, but whenever I start up a new playthrough, I'll very frequently say, oh, we're starting up a new playthrough, I'm looking forward to it or whatever. And I'll post like the first thumbnail or whatever, but otherwise I don't really do like, oh yeah, tonight's video or whatever, it's coming out soon or something, look for it in your inbox or something. I don't really do that unless I thought it was like, oh, holy shit, I just had like a really good time recording it, which did in fact happen very recently. It's funny I bring that up. It did happen very recently with Morrowind Mondays this week. I very much enjoyed this week's Morrowind Mondays. But a lot of it is just like my takes on like video games, politics, fashion, I guess, just whatever, right? I've still very much used my Twitter as though I am not a person running a YouTube channel at all. And that is why, also, I don't really make an effort to get a lot of followers on there, right? If you want to see what I have to say, so be it. I'm not like posting funny images. I'm not trying to think of ideas of funny stuff to put on there. I'm not trying to make anything that requires actual effort on it. I've no interest in that. I'll just use it for my own means. It's still very much just my own personal thing, right? Which I guess in the long term is bad for, like, I don't know, building a presence on, building a brand, as it were. It's not great for that, but it's very true to myself in that way, which isn't to say that other people who post like a whole bunch of funny stuff, they're not being true to themselves, right? Definitely not in that sense, but you know, eventually you get kind of caught up in a wave of it where it's like, oh, I haven't posted something original and funny on Twitter in a while. Let's see what the current thing is, and if I can twist it into my general purview, my general scope, right? Oh, something funny happened in the news. Let's see, how can we make this about Elder Scrolls or whatever, right? How can we make this work? Twitter itself may not be around forever. I don't even know the fate of that situation, right? If you don't want to go on Twitter, I don't blame you. Just in the same way that I hope you don't blame me for not wanting to really go on Discord. If anything, you got better reasons for not being on Twitter as of late, you know what I'm saying? Instagram, like I said, occasionally, every few days, every few weeks or so. It really depends. It's very much also at my own whims. I don't really post anything about video games whatsoever. It's entirely in real life / fit pics and stuff like that. So if you end up following me, you'll probably see like, oh, Lyle liked this or whatever. It's just some guy wearing clothes or whatever. Right? That's the end all be all of it. My social media presence is not terribly impressive, and I don't really have a care to make it terribly impressive. Continually. One of the things that I think, of course, we cover a lot of Bethesda games, right? So hence this. But one of the things I think Todd Howard has done so appropriately, so correctly, is not having a presence on social media, right? Regardless of when the games are huge hits or when there's some sort of, controversy or whatever. I think the dude has made such a great decision in not having a public social media handle where people can just reach him. But to reiterate, for Discord, I just don't really have an interest in Discord whatsoever. I don't really have a place for it. Sometimes I will use it if we're going to play a game, like friends and I. Sometimes I will use it in that case, but I don't know. As you get older, you have less and less time to sort of get your friends together, right? Everybody just ends up being so busy. It's difficult to sort of get schedules aligned to where there's even time for that. That's something that I've discovered as you progress through your 20s. You notice this as it begins to happen, right? You're still on good terms with each other, but timing and schedules just does not work out. I could maybe see myself trying to make myself get more into it, especially as Twitter begins to decline. I could see myself trying to get further into Discord and just like weaving myself into other communities, but I don't really want to start my own thing. Like I said, ideally, if I did restart it, I would want preventative measures in place so as to not have some weird fucking asshole show up trying to be like an edgelord or whatever the hell, or just doing their thing, just trying to be shitty, you know. I would want something in place as a contingency plan in the event that occurred, because I don't want to propagate that shittiness to other people who are just trying to like go on with their life. And I don't like to see it either, right? Like, I don't exactly want to see it either. And as something that I've said before in the past, when it comes to moderation and stuff like that, in doing this full time, I know other folks run theirs different ways, and similar to before, this is no critique against them or whatever, right? Certainly it's the standard, but I dislike the idea of having people effectively work for me as a moderator or on a moderation team or whatever, and me not paying them in some way. I'm not at a place where I can employ someone even part-time to do that labor, right? I'm very much into the idea of paying people for their time, for their work, and all of that. But I've had numerous people volunteer, and I do absolutely appreciate the sentiment. But it's like on a personal level, I just don't feel comfortable having folks work for me, and me sort of having them take time out of their day, take away their precious time to do work for me for free, right? I wouldn't do it myself, and I don't intend to have anyone do it for me. If at some point in the future, somehow this all blows up and gets super popular, then sure, we'll hire someone on to do something like that. But that's like far-flung future, or if something miraculous happens or whatever. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I'm certainly not planning around it, but just sort of like in the back of my mind, it's sort of like a contingency plan. If things, like I said, blow up, then we'll adjust to it. Then we will try to do those sorts of things. We'll divvy out stuff, make sure people get some kind of recompense, right? Like I said, I really dislike the idea of it just being free labor, right? Because it is work, it's labor. I don't want to do it, it's work. Anyway, that's the long short of it for Discord. Hopefully this is a bit of a shorter one. Otherwise, I'll probably just talked in circles a lot, which I don't know. Frankly, sometimes I enjoy doing. But that's it for Discord. The Discord server, any sort of community situation like that, I just can't be bothered. That's a throughput. I just can't be. Man, the fucking fly. Do you see it going by? Good Lord, I hate it so much. All right, for next week's in real life video or whatever, assuming we do one, we will have a either more topical or a topic that is something more relevant, more timely, I guess, or a topic that is something that I've put on the list. I will say, I'll mention ahead of time, I'm expecting to have to miss videos a few times in November and probably December. I'm not sure. We'll see. It seems very likely because I'm going to have my wisdom teeth pulled finally. My mom also had hers pulled and taken out, extracted around the same age I am now. So, I don't know, I guess go figure. So, whatever, I'm probably going to be a little fucked up whenever that happens. If we have to miss videos, so be it. I am trying to get Starfield and stuff recorded ahead of time, but also I'm just kind of enjoying it. We'll see about Baldur's Gate. Maybe I'll try and get ahead on that. Morrowind Monday shouldn't be any problem trying to get ahead on that. Unless, scheduling just works out the way it does. This is just a forewarning. If I end up missing stuff, that's why. I had my wisdom teeth taken out in November. We'll see how long I am debilitated from that. Also, at some point here, hopefully within like a week's time, I will update the Patreon a little bit to have it to change up the payment. Currently, it's set up to be on its old system, and this won't affect anyone who's already in there, but effectively this makes it super simple and easy for people who are just recently joining. It will work like every other sort of monthly payment system, right? They've had this feature out for a while now. I've just been like a bastard about getting it up and going, and we'll put out a video where I'll describe it and mention it on the Patreon itself. If you want to see it, we'll just be going over this. But basically, oh, dear God, the fly. So the plan will be set up to where as soon as you hit up the Patreon, the money comes out or whatever, right? And it will always come out at about that time every month, right? That way you can decide, if you so desire, what time of the month you want it to happen, if you do want it to happen, right? Of course, it's entirely optional. But previously, it would be so to where it would only come out at the end of the month, right? No matter what. And of course, if you are currently subbed or whatever, and you want to reconfigure it to where it's something that suits you better, right? Go for it. Why not? Anyway. whenever that goes through, I'll have the video up on the Patreon itself. I'm not sure when I'll get around to doing that and recording it, but it'll be just a short little quick thing. All right. That ought to do it for now, for this time. There goes the fly. It's terrible. Maybe I'll try to get the fly out of here before I record that Patreon thing, or maybe we'll just keep it in. Maybe I won't even edit out all of the occurrences with the fly, you know? Maybe I'll add something to the video. Special guest star this week or whatever. All right. Until next time, please take care of each other.